Hello and welcome to the #1 Lunar Stan channel. I am OZChris here with OZChris vs DC Comics for week 2 of October. Got reviews of Batman and the Outsiders number 6, Detective Comics number 1013, Flash number 80, and Justice League Odyssey number 14. So, starting off with Batman and the Outsiders number 6, written by Brian Hill, art by Dexter Soy, coloring by Veronica Gandini, the cover by Tyler Kirkham, and Arif Prianta. So, Duke and Cassandra face off against Ishmael, who defeats them both in battle, but promises he has gifts for the two if they decide to follow him and see what these gifts are. To which they equip some jetpacks, follow Ishmael, and they discover that the gifts that have been left for them are sources of their pain, anguish, misery. So for Duke, it's Karma, who is still alive and apparently been hidden there by Batman himself, according to Cassandra's source of misery, her mother, Shiva. So Cassandra goes to fight Shiva, she loses, and Duke gets captured by Ishmael, leaving Cassandra alone in defeat. So story, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I think it was good, nice simple finale to the story arc as it goes into the Year of the Villain-esque story arc with Duke and Ra's al Ghul. I think it was nice, simple, a lot of good action within this comic. The art and coloring, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5. Like with the story, there's a lot of good action here, and the art and coloring work so well with it. A lot of great pages, a lot of great panels, the whole lot. Great art and coloring. And the cover, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5 as well. Great cover, great art, great coloring. From the Ashes of Defeat perfectly captures pretty much what happens in this book. So on to Detective Comics number 1013, written by Peter J. Tomasi, art by Doug Monk, coloring by David Barron, the cover by Monk and Barron. So with help from Alfred there, Batman is able to discover that the person who is orchestrating all these kidnappings is Freeze himself. So Batman, donning some badass looking fire armor, breaks into Freeze's base. He tries to stop him, but Freeze is able to escape, but Batman has momentarily stopped him from using these women for more of his experiments. So story, I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. I think it was great. We're finally, probably getting into this arc, Year of the Villain arc, with Freeze. So I think there's a really great issue, a lot of great moments. The art and coloring, I'm gonna give a 5 out of 5. I think there's phenomenal, magnificent art here. Batman's armor, his fire armor, looks so goddamn amazing. I really liked it. Like the introduction, the whole fight scene, this double page spread here, all of it just looks amazing. And the cover, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's a great looking cover. Cold, cruel world of Mr. Freeze. Batman's in Freeze's world now, and Freeze has changed since the last time he's seen him. So I think it's a great looking cover, great art, great coloring, all of that. So on to Flash number 80, written by Joshua Williamson, the art by Scott Collins, coloring by Louis Guerrero. The cover, I got the deceased variant cover, which is by Howard Porter. So while Black Flash leaves, giving Barry a warning to stay out of its way as it hunts down the other Force users, Hunter Zolomon has captured the Still Force user Steadfast, and after we get a recap of Hunter's origins, not particularly any different from his original origin in pre-Flashpoint and all that, so Barry's able to figure out where Hunter is and where he's got Steadfast. He attacks him, trying to save Steadfast, and Hunter reveals his overall goal, which is to obtain the Forever Force, getting all of these powers to become the greatest Flash in the multiverse. So that was the story. I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5. I think it was a great issue, progressed the plot really, really well. Getting more of like pre-Flashpoint history coming back into the canon, even though DC's timeline currently is a mess. What's canon, what isn't, two different canons existing at the same time. It's a mess, but at least they're trying. They're really trying. That's all I can say. But the story is progressing really well. We're seeing how Hunter Zolomon is involved with this whole death of the Speed Force, and he's actually using the Black Flash to his advantage for his plans. The Black Flash is actually vital to his plans, as he reveals to Barry. Art and coloring, I'm gonna give a 4. It's good, but I don't like that they just changed it for the 5th part of this arc, since we had Sandoval and a different team on art and coloring for the first 4 parts, and I don't know, I don't like when they just randomly change an art team within the story arc. Soon, considering this is reaching almost the conclusion of it, Death of the Speed Force and all that, I don't know why they decided to change it, but I think it's good, it's okay, it's not outright terrible. I just kind of wish they didn't change the previous creative team for art and coloring. The cover, I got the variant, the Howard Porter variant. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. I think it is a great looking cover. I honestly thought this was just Hunter Zolomon until I saw at the top it says deceased variant cover. So this is Barry when he's infected and deceased. Still good looking cover, great looking cover, great art, great coloring on the cover. And finally, onto Justice League Odyssey. Justice League Odyssey, written by Dan Abnett, the art by Chris Cross and Cliff Richards, the coloring by Rain Burrito and Pete Pantazis, I probably mispronounced that, and the cover by Will Conrad with Burrito. So, after dispatching the Power Angels, Jessica forms her own new team with Occult, Blackfire, Dexter, everyone that she's encountered that has saved her, so they could stop Darkseid and stop his plans. So they head off to follow Sepulchre and find a way to get inside to not only stop Darkseid, but to free the other members of the Justice League Odyssey, which have been converted into his heralds, into his own followers, his own team as well. But when trying to uncover who Occult is, they accidentally awaken something that Darkseid and us, the readers, if you've been reading Justice League Odyssey, have met before, and it is very dangerous, particularly to Occult. So I won't spoil who it is until we get to the next issue, but story, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I think it was good. It's nice. Progressive plot quite well. Going at a steady pace, all of that. The art and the coloring, I'm gonna give a. This is a bit tricky, because much like with Flash 80, this one also decided to change the creative team for art and coloring, so it's a different team on this, and there's some parts where it's good and there's other parts where it's not. Like the first few pages, the art actually looks alright, but then there's some where it just doesn't. So trying to find, like around here, I think like the art is a bit dodgy, so I'm going to say 3.5 out of 5. I think the coloring is good, but the overall art, it fluctuates between decent to dodgy, so above average. The cover, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I think it's a good cover. I know they're obviously silhouetting these characters, but if you've read them, you know what these three are, and this one appears at the end. I'm not going to spoil who or what it is, but I think it's, regardless of the fact that they're silhouetted, it's a good looking cover. So that is it for those 4. Thank you all for watching. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter and Instagram are at the end in the outro. If you like this video, leave a like. If you're new to the channel or haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you all in the next one.